Loretta is the kind of woman who brings baked goods to every class she attends. Short, middle-aged, with tall blonde hair, long red lacquered nails, perfectly matching gold jewelry. She reminds me of Dolly Parton by way of Long Island.
That she would find a partner.
Along with home-baked goods, she brings stories of her latest life adventure.
She was also practical.
She is the life of the party.
If a good partner didn't appear soon,
honey, she says,
she would find
when I first met her,
way.
I didn't just used to be a doormat. I used to be a wall-to-wall doormat.
Series of healings. She was ready to do the deep work,
as in before the accident. This year, she spent most of her time alone in a darkened room in complete silence.
To her father, who had abandoned her.
A year ago, she fell off a ladder and ended up with a traumatic brain injury.
To connect with the child
her balance is off, and she gets tired from socializing and has to retreat.
Or love.
I'm not who I was before, she says.
Within her,
there's a part of me missing.
But believed she didn't deserve
I've heard other people with traumatic
it.
brain injuries say something similar.
She wouldn't get it.
It's not just that she can't do things she used to do.
Who had learned that men
she
can't
put up with the things she used to put up with either.
Rather than later.
Her personality is different.
And so most of the relationships
now I'm a bitch on wheels, she says.
Her adult life
I have to be.
Reflected her little girl's belief.
A month after the accident, she went on a cruise. Her husband and friends couldn't understand why she wanted to spend her days in the dark with an adult beverage, sleeping.
An emotional match to us.
She looked put together and managed to put her lipstick on her lips, not her forehead, so they all thought she was fine.
We gravitate towards.
She knew she wasn't fine, but it took a long time for her to understand what had happened to her and why.
Them all your life.
If you're not bleeding or injured in some way that people can see, then you must be fine.
Wounds?
In the last year, in addition to spending time alone by herself, she's had to learn to do something she was never able to do before. Say no.
To go on a series of journeys with
it was
her
all she could do to deal with the pain.
Her little girl and
she snapped at her husband. She was unavailable for her friends. She didn't do what her family wanted her to do because she couldn't.
Has been suppressed,
she just physically couldn't.
Denied, neglected.
When I did muscle testing, what came up was the need to rebalance and align her brain, along with some other things that needed realigning as well.
The anger, the grief.
After the healing, she reported feeling better, and I was glad.
Fears that are alive.
She said she felt like she had enough energy to socialize.
And loving witnesses
I couldn't help thinking that Loretta's brain injury, while unfortunate, was also a gift. Before she was a dynamo, cooking, cleaning, helping out before she was asked.
So this
now she had to consider herself.
Learning from Gloria's
she no longer is the wall-to-wall doormat.
And allowing
like it or not, her body made it so that she had to consider herself first. Her brain injury did for her what she could not do for herself.
So feeling and allowing is a big
whether we are
part
healthy or sick with a cold or managing more serious health problems, our bodies are always speaking to us, always giving us messages in an attempt to make sure that we care for ourselves.
And to learn how to
sometimes
give
we pay attention.
Her father could not.
A lot of times, though, we ignore our body's messages until they become so blatant or painful we can't ignore them.
As a little girl. But as an
we
adult,
think we know what
Gloria
health is.
It's
when we aren't in pain and things are more or less normal. But there are a lot of ways that we live normally every day that are not sustainable physically, mentally, or spiritually.
And the adult Gloria learns
I tend to be a workaholic, which is not only socially acceptable, but often praised. If I tell you how busy I am, chances are you will nod in recognition. Everyone is busy. Everyone is running around, doing too much, trying to cram everything in, and not everything fits. Perhaps what doesn't fit the schedule is exactly what we need to balance our lives and have a sense of living a life rather than being chased through it by the ghost of not enough.
She was having a child.
According to the Hopi dictionary, Koyaanisqatsi means chaotic life and describes a life that is out of balance, a life in turmoil.
Pictures of her wedding.
A good description of the world we see outside us and the ways we often experience our internal lives as well.
There are so many unseen hands at work
We
in our
see the
lives.
signs of this chaos in the world outside. Stress levels, depression, anxiety, suicide rate among teenagers, gun violence, domestic violence, poverty, homelessness, war.
But there's never just
all at
one
record
cause.
levels.
Perhaps
yet normal.
The stars aligned.
Part of our everyday
and Gloria
lives.
got what her heart most desired.
We see signs of
But
this
it didn't
turmoil
just
in the
happen.
destruction also of the natural
She made
world,
those
the endangerment
circumstances
of whole
possible.
species, the
Her
state
work
of the
to heal her
oceans and
past,
air,
I'm sure,
floods and
changed
fires.
her future and
Normal,
created what you might
able
call
to function and
a
get through the
magical
day,
transformation.
isn't the same as healthy.
It's magic, but
Loretta's
it's magic
accident
she made
required her to
possible.
radically change how she'd been living. She may not like the change. Her family misses the old Loretta, the wall-to-wall doormat. She's different now. Was Loretta healthier before or after the accident? It's hard to say. And what is healthy? That's part of the quest, and a question worth asking. What would a healthy world look like, feel like? What would we do or need to change in order to be truly healthy? And what would we need to do differently to create a world where everyone, every person, and all living things could flourish?
I'm Suzanne LaGrande, and you've been listening to The Shaman's Notebook. For more insights and adventures into healing, subscribe below and visit me at SuzanneLaGrande.com.